Hey, what is going on guys? It is Young here and today I'm back on our Fortnite video, and in today's video I'm going to give you guys some tips and tricks when it comes to killing tryhards here in Fortnite. And for the gameplay I have in the background, I am playing an arena, so I'm going to be talking over this gameplay and explaining exactly how you can kill these better players in Fortnite. And before we get into the video, I'm going to be hosting a V-Buck giveaway, and if you guys want a chance to win some free V-Bucks, all you need to do is to drop a like in this video, make sure you guys subscribe to my channel, and as well subscribe to my second channel. The link for that will be down in the description below, and as well leave a comment of your Xbox gamer tag, PS4 gamer tag, or Epic account. And for the winner, I'm going to be giving away 2,000 V-Bucks in which you can buy skins, gliders, pickaxes, anything you want in the item shop, so make sure you guys enter. And as well, if you guys like to add me and support me as a creator in the item shop, all you have to do is go over to the item shop, go down to the bottom right, hit support a creator, and type in my code. My code is Young Humor, and you guys will have me supported as a creator. And alright guys, let's get to the video. Alright, so I have arena gameplay in the background for the reason being that a lot of really good players are going to play in arena mode. They're going to be playing in the World Cup qualifiers and all that kind of good stuff. So a lot of better players and a lot of tryhard players are going to be playing in these sort of game modes. And so currently I'm actually right over 1,000 points this game. I'm right here at 900. So in this gameplay, I do believe I hit about 11 kills, which is a really good amount of kills considering playing arena. Most of the time when I win, I'll get like 4 or 5 kills. But if you're able to get above, I'd say about 8 kills, I'd say that's a pretty good game. You definitely went off and towards the late game, because it can be quite difficult to pick up a lot of kills, especially in the earlier mid game. But towards the late game, towards the end, as you guys are going to see in this gameplay, I'm going to be picking off a lot more players and getting a lot more kills. So when you're playing against better players as opposed to players who aren't that good, you definitely have to play a little bit different than you normally would, because when you're going against better players, they're going to expect a few things that a lot of newer players wouldn't, like for instance, like double edits and different things like that, you know, that are really obvious for a good player. But if you go against a complete noob, of course you're not going to be expecting it, and you're going to get a lot of easy kills that way, a lot of flashy kills. So when you're going against these better players, you have to play it a lot different and play a lot smarter. And one thing that you can do that's very effective that I do all the time in duos is saying I'm playing in duos, it's a 2v2, I'm going against another team in arena, and say that my teammate's at the top of the structure and I'm at the bottom of the structure, whatever the case may be. Say I'm able to get 1 kill, so I get a knock and I'm able to finish off that player, so now it is a 2v1. The best way to go about that gunfight, and even if your teammate is fighting the player on top, I'd recommend doing is just completely back off of that fight and wait for your other teammate to catch up. That way you can actually play them 2v1, because the only time the other player actually has a chance, so the second you get the kill and go for the knock on the first guy of that team, the second guy, his only chance is if he can get elimination on your teammate before you're able to get to your teammate. So if your teammate plays a lot slower and you wait for your teammate to come up, so you wait for your teammate to engage in the fight as well, it's going to allow you to get a really easy kill, because you guys can shoot them at the exact same time. It basically isn't a 1v1 for a good solid 15 seconds or so by the time you actually get up there. And you can use this to your advantage as well. Say you're in a 2v1 as you're in the 1 player, you're going against a team of 2, and say your teammate gets knocked and they're a good solid 20 or 30 meters away. It basically gives you about 6 or 7 seconds to make a move on the player that you're currently fighting. Otherwise it's going to be very difficult to get a kill on both the players, because as you guys know, in arena mode, the second you get like 1 or 2 tags on the other player, they're just going to box up. So you definitely have to W key very fast and definitely very hard if you want to be able to go for the kill, especially if your teammate already died. Otherwise it's going to be nearly impossible to get any sort of eliminations, any sort of tags off, because the other players can continue to box up and hold their turbo build. And do say if you're in a 2v1 and you're not able to get the elimination on one of the players on the other team, the best thing you can do is honestly just try to avoid the situation, try to get out of it. You have a rift, you have a launch pad, maybe you have some smoke grenades. Smoke grenades are really good for a lot of things. You can use it to get away from a lot of situations, and as well it's very good for rotating in the late game, because it's almost nearly impossible to see the players who are using it unless they're jumping. But either way, I don't even know if you really have that much aim assist when it comes. I don't even know if there's aim assist if they are actually in the smokes. I'm pretty sure there might be, but it's really hard to tell exactly where they are, and it's gonna be very difficult to see them. But most of the time, once you pop the smoke grenade, it's gonna be nearly impossible to see the player, so you're gonna be able to get away pretty easily without any hassle. So that's one thing you can do if you're ever down in arena. Maybe you're down, maybe your teammate dies early, and you're able to get away, you always want to try to avoid as many gunfights as possible, unless it's the late game, because you're going to be able to get a lot of picks on rotation. But other than that, when your teammate's dead and it's just you want to be able to carry as many items that you can to use to get away, like launch pads, shadow grenades, just anything you can use to get away a lot quicker. That is something you want to carry in your inventory. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult to do anything if you're ever in a 2v1, because once you're in a 2v1 and both the other players are on either side of you and there's nowhere you can go, by that time, unless you get just a lucky melt with your drum gun, because there's not going to be any 200 damage pump shots, it's going to be very difficult to do anything. And that's another reason why you have to play very smart nowadays, because I think it is a lot easier to get kills, but do at the same time there isn't like a one pump to a shotgun. So if you're able to make a player weak, then you want to make a play on them as fast as possible, and you can W key a lot easier now, because even if they try to go for a trap kill, which I've seen a ton, is if they're in a box, you challenge them, they're really weak, they might try to place traps, but traps are going to be very difficult to hit you, especially if you have a drum gun. And the reason being, drum guns just absolutely shred through structures, so it's going to be very easy just to blast through every single structure without any problem. So if the other player is weak, they're not going to be able to one pump you, and it's going to be very difficult for them to actually get traps on you if you're spraying with your drum gun. So with that being said, if you are very quick with it and you know they're low HP and you're able to get inside of their 1x1, I would recommend trying to go for the play on them. Just spray the mess out of them with the drum gun, and trust me, it's super effective, and I've been able to clutch out a lot of games and get a lot of kills doing so, especially in the current meta. I probably wouldn't recommend it before, but nowadays drum gun spray is honestly very effective. It's very accurate, at least for me, and I'm able to get a lot of kills and do a lot of things with it. And so one thing you do have to be cautious about if you're in a lobby with a bunch of better players, or even if you know there's going to be good players in your lobby, you have to be very careful for third parties from every direction, because you have to just expect people to shoot you from about like 100 meters away, 150 meters away, especially if you're going against better players. They're going to be trying to take shots at you no matter what, so you do have to be careful about people going for shots from different directions, and really any direction possible. So even if you are going for a play on the team, you definitely want to keep in the back of your mind that there could be other teams nearby, other teams from across the map going for shots on you. So one thing you can do is, say if you're in a gunfight, you want to W key another player, maybe they're just holding turbo build, and if you still want to go for a push on that player, maybe you just build around you, try to protect every single angle possible, because trust me, I've had it happen so many times to me and my teammates. We would try to go for a play on a player and we would just get sprayed and knocked for 100 HP from a team that wasn't even close to us, and it would have been easily prevented if we just built to our side, built above us, whatever the case may be. So as long as you're very cautious of the other angles that people have, it's going to be very easy to go for a push on players, because you're going to at least be aware, and even if you are getting shot from your side that you didn't even really realize, you're still at least prepared for it to happen, because you know it could possibly happen. So even if you get shot from your side, you kind of were expecting it, so it's not going to be that big of a deal. You're going to be able to build very quickly, and you're not going to get ripped for like 150 damage without even realizing it. So really, when it comes down to it, you want to be more aware when you're going against these better players, these really tryhard players. Just be really aware where everyone's at and where everyone could possibly get a shot, and you always want to just try to see it. You just want to try to predict what angles other players are probably going to have on you, and that's going to be the best way to go for when it comes to going for challenges and different things like that. Just trying to read and predict what the other players are going to do is going to give you a major advantage, especially when you're going against players who do a lot of the same things. Eventually it's going to get very predictable, and you're going to be able to counter it time and time again, which is going to allow you to be a lot more consistent and win a lot more games in arena, and as well just a lot more games against those better players. And one thing that's very effective, and something that a lot of players don't do, and especially in arena mode, when you do get kills, you do have a little bit of more mats, and you also want to be conservative with your mats, but at the same time, if you're low on HP, or if you know you're getting sprayed from multiple different angles, don't worry about your mat count. Just burn through as many mats as you possibly can if it means that you do take less damage, because at the end of the day, you want to take less damage. I would say it's more important to have more HP than to have more mats, but of course, if your mat count's only like 100, then you want to be very safe with your mat count and play it smart. But if you have like 250 or 300 materials left, you'd rather give up a little bit of materials than lose all of your HP, because once you lose all of your HP, it's pretty much a GG at that point. So of course you have to find the right balance, but I've seen a lot of players who are not using as many mats as they should, and they're just getting ripped for all their HP. and a lot of these players still have like 600 or 700 materials. So if you have all of those materials, you want to be a little bit less conservative with your materials and worry about your HP more than your mats. And that's what I would say I highly recommend using, because if you are able to get a kill, I would recommend that you can even take a little bit of storm damage. I've seen a lot of players do it and it's been very effective and something that I started doing. And even in arena mode, if someone dies in the zone, you still have a good like 2 or 3 seconds you can run in there and not take that much damage but still get a lot of materials from it. And with that being said, that's about it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys liked it. And if you guys could, drop a like on this video. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn on my notifications to be notified for every single new video. And alright guys, I'll see you next video.